What's up, Gator Nation? What's up, our Rolling with Carlos family? I appreciate the support. We're one subscriber away from 1,400 in this channel. But today we're going to go ahead and talk about briefly that there should be a change at Florida's head coaching position in terms of the football program. I'm going to read to you one article. I was going to read to you two articles, but I'm going to read to you one article and discard the first article because I think one article is enough to drive the point home of this video. And Scott Strickland, if you do end up watching the channel, I believe that it is time to move on from Billy Napier. He's a good recruiter, but doesn't know how to manage a football team as a head coach. Here we go. The title of the article I'm going to read to you is Takeaways from the Gators Loss to Texas A&M. This was written by Harrison Samadovitz about 18 hours ago, right after the loss that the Gators suffered against Texas A&M. The Florida Gators suffered another road loss to a top 10 opponent this season, this time falling to Texas A&M 34-17, right after a big win over another Texas program. They flopped after what looked like a strong start. Looks like we're back here again wondering what's next. On that note, here are three takeaways from Florida's fourth loss of the season. The narrative of the defense getting the job done didn't hold up in College Station. The defense allowed 417 total yards of offense and allowed 21 points in the first 20 or so minutes of play. Jordan Castell picked up another well-timed interception, but that was one of the few standout moments on the defensive. In the end, it's not like the offense took advantage of even one good moment. Florida turned over the ball on downs after failing to run up the middle on 3rd and 6, followed by an incomplete pass on 4th down. Speaking of the offense, they actually had a promising first quarter. However, one of the two touchdowns got on the board. They couldn't muster more than a field goal, converting a 3rd down once out of 10 attempts led to another game of offensive headaches. More problematic play calling on offense mixed with an off night on the other side of the ball was the recipe for falling flat. Lagway improving, but game was a tale of two halves. If you take a look at the overall performance, he was fine. Lagway threw 2 touchdowns and didn't turn the ball over. Throwing for 245 yards is fine too, but most of his production was in the first half. There's an argument that it was the first quarter versus the rest of the game. He gets credit. He said changes was coming. It would start with him, and he has improved. However, the wins still aren't translating. If he can put on a strong performance from start to finish, a lot will fall in place. Clock is ticking again for Billy Napier. At least last season saw him pick up back-to-back SEC wins when his back was against the wall. This time he went right back into the loss column. Is this the last of him? Couldn't tell you. Each time we've thought this was the end, it hasn't been. So all we could say for now is that he missed a huge chance to correct course. Now he's off to his worst start yet. In his first 3 seasons, his First 6 games saw him have a 4-2 start and a 3-3 3-3 start last season. Now he has a losing record halfway through a season. He expected to lead this team to the college football playoffs. Florida likely could have been ranked on Sunday. If it would have picked up a win, it would have been hard not to. If they had picked up a win against 2 top 10 teams, which would have been on the road. Now one likes a broken record. No one likes a broken record. But each game has required an evaluation of Billy Napier's job status. It's not fun to do it every week, but here we are. All right, guys. Quickly, terms of his contract. Napier signed a 7-year, $51.8 million deal with Florida late in 2021. The contract runs through January 31st, 2029, effectively through the 2028 season. For the 2025, his base salary is reported at $7.4 million. Beyond his base salary, annual compensation may include supplement, expense payments, but bonus incentives and retirement contributions are often excluded from the buyout calculations in these reports. Further reports, the contract provides benefits including 2 cars with insurance, a suite at home games, 16 tickets, and access to the university's aircraft. Buyout and termination provisions. Here's what the reports say about what Florida would owe Napier if he's fired without cause, i.e. involuntary under his current contract. Scenario: buyout amount. If fired after 2025 season of his remaining contract, he would be owed 85%, which is approximately $19.38 million. If fired today, mid-contract, similar structure, 85% of remaining compensation with no offset for another job. Payment schedule and terms. 50% of the buyout equals $9.6 million due within 30 days of termination. Remainder is paid in equal installments at 12.5% per year over 4 years, with the first installment due July 15th following termination, and then each July 15th until paid. Scenario: after 2026, buyout drops to $13 million per some reports. After 2027, reported buyout would be $6.1 million. Same distribution as before, as I mentioned before. After 2028, essentially $0 remaining. Contract term exhausted. Other relative terms. The buyout is reportedly 85% of his remaining compensation under contract. There is no offset or mitigation allowed, i.e. if he takes another coaching job, that does not reduce what Florida owes him. In the media reported terms, Florida previously paid Louisiana $3 million to buy out his previous contract when hiring him. Alright guys, so there you see, if we were to fire him this year, which I think eventually it will happen, because what I've been told from my sources, if he doesn't get to 8 wins, I don't think it'll happen this week, but if he doesn't get to 8 wins, he will be fired, hopefully. And the hot seat is getting hotter by the minute. But if he gets fired this year, he's owed $19.38 million, which is 85% of his current contract, which runs through 2028. Leave me your thoughts down below what you think about this. And like always, I appreciate your support. Stay positive, stay on your grind, and go Gators.